Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we are going to create our own Discord chatbot. I assume you already know what Discord is. It is that popular text and voice chat provider where you can join a community chat server or create your own chat server. In Discord, the so-called / commands trigger some form of interactivity with the chatbot. Our bot, which we create in this video, will react to the /or command and post a random animal picture into the chat, and chat users can react to that picture with an emoji. The source of the animal pictures will be the subreddit or. In this subreddit, users post pictures and videos of cute animals. We will access the Reddit API to get a random JPEG from the newest subreddit posts. And the chatbot will be implemented as a Node.js Javascript application. The steps to implement the chatbot will be based on the Discord Getting Started tutorial. That tutorial provides a template chat project and showcases how to implement a Discord chatbot. I will use that tutorial as a reference and reuse some of the code from it. As already mentioned, the chatbot will be implemented as a Node.js Javascript application, so make sure you have installed Node.js and npm. And also I will use VS Code as the IDE. Make sure that you have a Discord account, and you should own a Discord server where you will install the chatbot later. Creating the Discord server is very easy. When you are in the Discord app, simply click on New Server and Discord will guide you through the creation steps. Also, the chatbot will be hosted as a server web application. It must be reachable via a public endpoint for the Discord server. Since I will develop and test the bot locally, I will use the ngrok workaround, which is also mentioned in the Discord Getting Started tutorial. ngrok enables you to create a publicly reachable tunnel to your locally running application. The setup is quite simple. First, register and log in to ngrok. Then you download and install the ngrok executable on your local machine. Then in the ngrok portal you create an auth token and configure your local ngrok executable to use that auth token. After that we can use the executable. We execute ngrok with the parameters HTTP and 3000, which means ngrok will listen on the HTTP port 3000. ngrok outputs the public URL tunnel in the console. Later we will use this URL as the interaction endpoint for our chatbot application. We must announce our chatbot application in the Discord Develoeprs portal. That way our chatbot will be integrated into the Discord platform. So go to the Discord Developer portal, then go to the Applications section and click on New Application. Give it a nice name, agree to the Discord terms, conditions and policies and click on Create. After creation, you see the application ID and public key, which will be important for our chatbot app later. Also, you see the setting for the interaction endpoint. We will insert the interaction endpoint later. On the left side, you see the bot section. Go there and click on Add Bot. After that, you can change the bot icon and bot name, which will appear as the username of the bot in the Discord chat. Here click on Reset Token. This will generate a new token for the bot. This token authorizes the bot to use APIs and carries all the bot's permissions. So make sure to treat it as a secret and store it securely. Then we must provide permissions to our application. Go to the OAuth2 section and go to URL generator. In here we can select the scopes for our app. Select the bot and application's commands scopes. And then we can specify the permissions of our bot. Select Send Messages and Use /commands. With that, we have specified that our Discord app has a bot user. It can execute Discord API commands and the bot user can send messages and use other /commands. Finally, at the bottom you see a generated URL. This is the installation URL to install and enable the chatbot in the Discord server. So copy and call that URL and select your newly created Discord server to install it there. After that, you see that the chatbot joined your Discord server as a user. As already mentioned, I will use the Getting Started tutorial project as a reference. In the GitHub of that tutorial project, I see the npm dependencies. So they use Discord interactions library, which brings Discord types and functions. Then they use the .env library to use environment variables, the Express web framework, and Node fetch to make API calls. I will stick to the same dependencies. I will go ahead and create a new Node.js project. In here, I will install the previously mentioned dependencies. In the package.json file, I will add type module so I can import node modules. I create a new .env file for environment variables. These environment variables will be fetched by the .env library. This file will contain all IDs, keys and so on which are specific for my Discord application. See that I must insert the app ID and app public key, so copy and paste those from the Develoeprs portal. Also, I must have the Discord token, which is the Discord bot token from before. And I must also have the guild ID. Guilds are Discord's synonym for channel. You can find the Discord channel ID in the channel URL after the /channel. After that, we must initialize the Express web app. So go into the entry point of the Node.js app. For me, it is index.js. And in here, we must get an Express app by calling the Express function. We add a post handler function for a post request. We set the path endpoint to /interactions to specify that in here we will handle all chatbot interactions. For the time being, I leave the handler function empty. And at last I will tell the Express app to listen on the port 3000 and provide a callback function, which will be called after the web app has started. This callback contains only a console output for the time being. So let us start the application via the VS Code debugger and briefly check if we see the console output. And if we see it, our web app has started but is currently not doing anything. In the Discord tutorial application source code, there is a line which adds request verification to the Express web app. Every incoming request will be verified by that function. Let us check out the source code of that function. Basically what it does is getting the request content, request signature and timestamp and verify it with our application public key. A chatbot interaction can be briefly described like this. Every time a specific / command is used in a Discord server chat, this command will be sent as a post request to our chatbot application. This request will contain a command JSON and a signature in the HTTP header. That signature is signed by a private key and can be verified by a public key. This request verification makes sure that only our application, which we created in the Discord developer portal, is allowed to call these interactions. In the source code, you can also see that it uses the verify key function from the Discord interactions library. I will reuse that request verification, so copy the whole verify Discord request function and the imports from above inside the utils JavaScript file and paste it into our own utils JavaScript file. And also copy that one line which adds the request verification to the Express web app and paste it into our own source code. Don't forget to import the verify Discord request from the utils file properly. Checking the Discord tutorial application source code again, we see that the /interactions endpoint handler has a lot of stuff implemented. The only thing we're gonna reuse is the ping handling. Eventually Discord will ping our chatbot app to see if it is still alive. So naturally we will have to implement it as well. This is the first time we will add code to our interactions endpoint handler. So copy the whole code where the request body is destructed and the code for the if case for the ping interaction type. Then we paste it into our own source code. And also do not forget to import the interaction type enum from the Discord interactions library. For every code change, I will restart the debugger because I do not have automatic code reload yet. We now have the base set up for our interactions endpoint. We must make it publicly reachable for the Discord server. This is the time where we use ngrok to create a public tunnel to my locally running app. So execute ngrok http 3000 in a terminal. Copy the public URL. Then go to Discord developer portal to the application general information section and paste the public URL in the interactions endpoint URL field. Do not forget to add /interactions. Then save and verify that Discord does not display any errors. If you see any error, then probably Discord is not able to reach that endpoint. Make sure the app is running and it is publicly reachable. In the ngrok console output, we can verify that Discord indeed has contacted our application. We see a trace of all incoming requests. You might see an unauthorized response here, but that is okay. Now there is one more thing which we will reuse from the Discord example application. The chatbot will implement / commands, which can be used by users in the chat. When a / command is used in the chat, the Discord server must forward that command to the chatbot application. It appears that these / commands are not automatically discovered by the Discord channel. The Discord example application automatically installs the / commands in the Discord channel. Let us check out the source code for it. So in the app JavaScript file down at the very bottom, you can see that a callback is executed after the Express app has started. In my source code we have only the console output, but here we see that the function hasGuild commands is called. The input for it is the application ID, the guild or the channel ID and an array of / commands. So let's go to the commands JavaScript file and see the implementation of that function. We see that it iterates the commands array and calls another function for each command. I will try to summarize the source code for that function. At first, it prepares a Discord API URL, which contains the app ID and the guild ID. Then it calls that endpoint. That endpoint retrieves all installed commands for that app ID and guild ID. The response is passed and a list is created which contains all installed command names. If the currently iterated command is not in that list, it calls another function to install that command. In the other case, it simply outputs in the console that this command is already installed. The install guild command function does what the name already tells. It installs the command by doing a post request to the Discord API. As you can see, the endpoint here also contains the app ID and guild ID. The function Discord request is a utils JavaScript function. In the source code of it, we can see that it basically assembles the whole Discord API request, putting the Discord token from the environment variable into the authorization header, and using the node fetch client to call the API endpoint. Back to the commands JavaScript file and search for the definition of the commands. Here, for example, the test command. It has a name, a description, and a type. We are going to reuse the source code which installs the commands in the guild, or in other words the Discord channel. So go to the utils JavaScript file and copy the Discord request function and paste it into our own utils JavaScript file. Back in the example, go to the commands JavaScript file and copy hasGuild commands and hasGuild command function and paste it into our own command JavaScript file. Also, do not forget to do the correct imports in this file. After that, copy the test command declaration and paste it into our own commands JavaScript file. We changed the name of the test command from test to or. At last, I go to our index JavaScript file and call the hasGuild commands function, using our app ID and guild ID from the environment variables and putting an array with a single command, the or command. Now I restart the debugger of my local app and check if I see any errors. Every restart of the app, it checks if it should install any new commands. So if I add new commands in the source code, these will be installed on the next restart. Let us go to our Discord channel chat and verify that the /or command is installed. When I type /or in the chat message field, Discord proposes me a matching command and it shows me the description to that command. So it seems the chat has discovered my or command. However, when I execute that / command, I see an error. Our chatbot application made that command public to this Discord guild, but it is missing a handling for that command. So go back to the /interactions endpoint handler. If it is not a ping request, the program will continue after the first if statement. We add another if statement and check whether the type of the request is an application command, using the interaction type ino from the Discord interactions library. If it is a command, we extract the name of the command. And then we check if the name equals to the name of our or command. If this is the case, then we return a hello world chat message for the time being. You see that I return by sending a response. It has an attribute called type. I use the interaction response type enum and use the value channel message with source. And I specify the data attribute, which itself contains the attribute content. The content is the chat message which will be posted by the chatbot in the Discord channel chat. I restart the debugger again. Then go to my Discord channel chat and execute the /or command again. And this time we see that the chatbot has posted our chat message. Now that finally works. As already announced, I will use the Reddit API and the subreddit OR to fetch a random animal picture. I can do that by calling a get API from Reddit. Here in Postman you can see the URL for it. I access reddit.com, then /r for subreddit, then the subreddit name /or, then /new to get the newest 25 posts, and then /.json to get the JSON response. This is how the JSON response looks like. It contains data with an array of children. Some of the children contain the attribute URL overridden by dest. If it has a JPEG in the URL like this one, that means it is a JPEG picture. These URLs are the one I am going to post in the Discord chat with the chatbot. So let's go back to our OR command handling. Before returning the hello world, I will use the fetch method to do a simple GET request call to the Reddit API. Then I will do some basic error handling, like checking whether I did not get an error response. I check if the response is a JSON with data and children within the data. I filter the children array to find only children which contain a JPEG URL. If I did not find any, I will return with an error response. If I found any, I pick a random from that array. Then I respond with a chat message which contains only the JPEG URL which I just randomly picked. And that simple, my /or command posts a random animal picture in the chat. I go ahead and test the / command in the chat and verify that it works. As a final feature, I would like to add emoji buttons to the random animal picture. When a user clicks on one of those buttons, my chatbot application will handle the button click and post another chat message. First, let's define a list of reaction buttons. Let's go to the commands Javascript file and create an array of objects. Each object has an ID and an emoji label. If you search for emojis, you can visit the site emojipedia.org to find some emojis. I will convert each of those objects into a chat message component. So iterate the array and create a new object and push it into another array. These objects will be components which we will attach to the animal picture chat message. The component must have a type, which we will set to the type button. It must have a custom ID and a label. The style attribute specifies how it will be displayed. Then go to the source code where we respond with the animal picture chat message. To the data of the message, we add a components array. This array will contain only one component of the type action row. And it will also contain another components array, which is our buttons array. Now let's restart the app and check how it looks like in the Discord chat. Verify that you now see the buttons below the picture. However, when we click on one of those buttons, nothing really happens. That is because our chatbot is missing a handler for these message components. That means let's go back to the interaction handler source code. This time let's create another if statement after the if statement for application commands. We check for the interaction type message component. This interaction type will be sent to our chatbot application when a user clicks on one of those buttons. Let us extract the custom ID from the data. We should check if the custom ID is one of our OR reactions. Let's find it in the reactions array and return and send another chat message. The content of this chat message will be the name of the user and the reaction of the user. We can put the name of the user into the chat message by referencing it by the user ID, which can be extracted from the request body. Simply put the user ID between pointed brackets with an @ prefix. Also, I will put the reaction label into this chat message. Now, after restarting the application, I try to click on the button again and verify that my chatbot indeed responds to the button click. This concludes our custom Discord chatbot. As usual, thanks for watching and have a nice day.